So before we looked at a much more complex script that had a bunch of lines because it was done by just simply going in and copying and pasting from the script editor. This time we're going to create a different one, and if you look at a compound, I'm just going to quickly add an ice tree to this object and get our burn in it. When we connect these in, or don't connect them in, if you go in and edit these compounds, you can see that they have different inputs. Also, the compounds themselves have properties, and one of the properties is the construction mode. At the moment, it's just set to current, and when you use the apply isop command we're about to use, you want to make sure you have these set correctly. So we'll set this one for modeling. If you're going to use something that requires a selection, in this case like the burn sim, in that case you can go in, edit them, and also set up any special connections. So you can go here and we can go to the properties of each port, and we could say this is the pick string is pick null. When we go back out, now when we run this, it's actually going to ask us to pick the null if you were to apply it. So this is a great thing to have set up. Again, you can also set up the compound property to make sure this was a simulation one. So again, when you apply this through scripting, it's going to ask you to pick that null, and it's going to ask you, or it's going to put it into the simulation, not into the current node. So that's going to make our life a lot easier. So let me just delete this ice tree and then show you the final product. The script itself is a very simple script with just 5 lines. First line just sets everything up. Second line is creating the burn cloud using the add primitive, not create primitive. Then you're going to apply the burn init to the selected object. You're going to apply the burn sim to the selected object. There's no object specified. You're going to also pick one object and then apply the burn cloud as well. And then finally here we're going to go in and apply the emit to the burn cloud to the current selected object. To see this work, we first of all have to make sure the compounds are loaded. A great way of sharing and storing your compounds is set up a work group. I have a work group ready to go, I just need to connect it. So I go to my preferences, I go to data management, manage work groups, and just connect a work group. I have one located here. In the work group has my script and it has all my compounds. And you'll see once it's okay, we can close all these down. And if I refresh my preset manager here, you'll notice those new compounds are loaded in. And here they are. When I select the object and run the script, first of all, it's going to go to a pick session and ask me to pick this object. So I have to pick my null. There it is. And then once it's done, it takes a second. And it's all ready to go. If I hit play, just zoom out a bit here, you'll see it's actually emitting particles going around the object. If I refresh the object, you'll see we have our burn sim. If we look inside this and look at the null name, it actually has the ignition null as a picking string. And if we look at its properties, it's set to simulation. This one, of course, will be set to modeling, and the one on the particles will also be set to simulation. So it's a much simpler way of scripting with much fewer lines. So it's just another way of doing your scripting. If that one refreshes, There we are. Just want to get the particles so we can see this ice tree as well. And there we go, there's the emit one. Also everything's connected up. So just a great way of setting up ice trees with a very simple short script using the apply ice op